Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is just me hanging out on Canada Day. This is Canada Day in Canada, where we celebrate Canada's birthday, basically. And so, happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canadians. And yeah, just hanging out. Basically, I have one kind of big box here. It's just one comic inside. It's not even a comic, actually, but it is something cool. It is definitely something cool. Very rare too. So I'm going to show this. But yeah, it's really just me hanging out. I really need to organize my comic room. I'm going to show some cool books as well, some other things that I just happen to have lying around. So there'll be some one unboxing, some cool stuff. It will be a Canada Day celebration. Without the Canadian theme. Hi, DJ. And feel free to ask me whatever questions. It's just me hanging out, really. There's nothing special about this video. There's no announcements. I do have a major announcement that I will be probably doing at the end of the month. Stay tuned for that. Prior to doing this live video, I just recorded tomorrow's video, which is the top hottest Golden Age comics of the week. And there's some pretty cool things that are on the list. So definitely stay tuned for tomorrow's video. That's going to be awesome. That's really it. I feel like I'm gonna just open this right now. Like if you 9 people are in here. If you're watching, this is for you guys. So really, I actually already did the opening, so it's already been opened. Oof. It is actually much thicker than I expected it to be. So this is what it is inside. And you're probably wondering, what is it? It's not a comic, but it is very important and very relevant to comics. Let me just pull it out here. And this is what it is. The Ladies' Home Journal. You're probably wondering, why? What is this? What does this have to do with comics? Where's the comics? Alan, you should be showing comics. Well, this is actually a very important magazine for comics. This is from November of 1953. And it's in pretty rough shape, actually. But, it's complete. But if you look at the bottom here, this is why it's important to comics. This was an article that Frederick Wertham wrote in this magazine. It's called What Parents Don't Know About Comic Books. And this was highly influential in terms of really being kind of the inspiration for the Seduction of the Innocent. And it was something where Frederick Wertham was really trying to get into that activist mode where he's really promoting to people that will react. And who better to react against comics? Women. Get it into the ladies' journal. Women will be like, oh, we got to protect the kids. And this is what it was. It was a propaganda piece that was in this ladies' home journal. And it's, Frederick Wertham really trying to do an activist thing where he's trying to influence women to basically get up in arms about comic books. It's his way of preparing for his later release of The Seduction of the Innocent, which marked the end of the golden age of comics. So this book was kind of major in terms of, this magazine was major in terms of that comic history. And it's a quite rare piece. The funny thing was, I couldn't find a copy in North America. I searched, I couldn't find a copy of it. I actually bought this from Australia. This came all the way from Australia, even though it's an American magazine, came all the way from Australia to get here. It's just a cool piece of history. So that's it. Not much about unboxing, but it is a cool piece of history. Try finding one of those. I've only seen it offered once on eBay in the last 5 years. Only once, and that's the copy. So yeah, so just a really, really interesting book. Um, hey, Collecto6. Hey, Alan. Happy Canada Day. Could you read a little of the Wertham article? Yeah, I can try. Okay, I'm gonna try. You're realizing that I am highly dyslexic, so whenever I read out loud, it's really painful, but I will do my best. But let's take it out of the wrapping here. Okay, I'll put that down there. This book is a little bit brittle, It's just like it's a little bit rough. Okay, let's find the article. I got to find the article, and then we can read it. Okay, let me just find it here. It's actually kind of interesting. I actually like looking at these older magazines. Just something about them, like really classic. Like, look at this. Like, look at that. You never see women dressed like that anymore. Just so cool. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to find out where the article is. One sec here. Finding it. These books were huge. Like, there's so much in here. It's like there's like 200 pages. I'm not sure where the Wertham article is. One sec here. One sec here. Sorry, I gotta kind of flip through it and find. Like, there is a table of contents, but it's not really clear where things are. Okay, one sec here. One sec here. Oh, here it is, page 50. Okay, let's read this article. Okay, what parents don't know about comics. The parent who shrugs and says his children only read good comics usually hasn't read these books himself. There are a startling truth about the 90 million comic books America's children read each month. Wow, 90 million. That just shows you how different it is back in the golden age in terms of the amount of comics that there were. 90 million comics. Isn't that insane? Okay, one Sunday night, a patrolman in New Jersey reported to police headquarters that there was some suspicious movement in the meat market. 2 squad cars sped to the scene and came to a screeching stop. 6 policemen rushed out of the cars with drawn guns, surrounded the store. 2 men entered, ready for battle. Their quarry turned out to be a handsome, blonde, curly-headed little boy of 6. His companions, who fled when the rope snapped as they were lowering him in through the skylight, were 12 and 13. The little boy, too young for a juvenile delinquency charge, had started his career as a burglar at 5, rewarded by his companions with a steady supply of candy and crime comic books. So crime was what encouraged this little boy to do like the cat burglar thing here. Every boy has his idol. He may be a star athlete, a two-fisted Hollywood Western actor, or a famous general. But some boys veer away from such heroes and admire the bad men. This was the start of the comic book story in which a hood teaches 2 little boys, if you kids want to learn to be like me, you got to be tough. Never give the other guy even a break. This shows them as a well-dressed young boy. And they proceed to threaten this boy. He hands over his money to them, but that does not satisfy the tough teacher. He bangs their heads together and exclaims, you always have to slug them. Remember that. Actually, this is some of this stuff that I'm reading right now is very similar to, or actually the same stuff that was in Seduction and Innocence. So some of the comics that are referenced here are from The Seduction of the Innocent as well. Um, this was an elementary lesson of crime comics. It was expressed again in the quotation from another book. Once I knocked a lady's teeth out for less than that. Wertham had a tendency of wanting to protect women and children, especially women and children. And he really didn't like when there was abuse of women in comics. So, rightly so. I mean, I do agree with that. But, we want to show criminals as being bad. And if they abuse women, obviously that's bad. And we don't see it as a good thing. So, many adults think that they know all about crime comic books because they know mystery and detective novels, comic strips in newspapers, and have cast an occasional glance at the comic book at the newsstand or in a child's hand. But most adults really have no idea of the details and the content of the majority of crime comic books. Children, however, do not know what Children, however, do know what comic books are. Comic books featuring crime read primarily by children and are intended for them. The whole crime comic book trade is designed for them and is dependent on them. And even though there are adults too who read such comics, of course, the people who still fall for the contamination of the comic book industry, that their products deal not with crime, but with the punishment of crime. It is not the very title of one of the books, Crime Does Not Pay. Here too, the adults are more readily deceived than the children. Children know that quite a number of crime comic books there are in the title some reference to punishment, but they also know that just that very reference is small letters and inconspicuous colors. The parts of the title that really count in huge, eye-catching type and clear, sharp colors: crime, criminals, murder, lawbreakers, guns. Here are a few examples. Lawbreakers always lose. There is no escape for the public enemies. How police smash the perfect crime guns against gangsters. Crime can't win. Law, crime. On the inside cover, very small, is the title given officially, Law Against Crime. The keynote of comic books is violence and sadism. This is featured in illustrations and in the text. One typical crime book with a very catchy title, one story alone has 10 pictures of girls getting smacked in the face, beaten with a whip, strangled and choked by hand, choked with a scarf. In addition, 2 men are killed and 1 is crippled. just a really, and some of the illustrations actually appeared from Seduction of the Innocent. I'm going to show you some of the illustrations right now. I'm just going to lift this up so you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but some of these illustrations, I'm not sure if you can see that. It's hard. This is such a big book. It's hard to show. But hopefully you can see those illustrations. I'm trying to show them all. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. Some injury to eye, some crazy stuff here. And then when I read this, I haven't read this before. But when I read this, it reads almost the same. It almost feels like he was writing the synopsis for The Seduction of the Innocent, because a lot of this, the way the content reads, is almost like word for word from The Seduction of the Innocent. It is very, very interesting. It's actually a fairly lengthy article. I just read the first 2 pages, but it goes for another 2 more pages. And then it continues on at 2:14, so it's actually a fairly long article. Yeah, wow. And it just keeps on going on. So you can tell that this is almost like a preview of The Seduction of the Innocent. And Wertham is really setting it up. I mean, the way he writes, he's a really good writer. He really makes it sound like, oh, these evil comic books, they're promoting crime and, you know, really de-emphasizing the punishment part of the comics. Now, actually, one of the books that he was just sort of talking about in here, just in that little excerpt, is one of the books right behind me. I'm going to pull it off the wall just to show you what he's referring to. Pull it off the wall so you guys can see it. It's this one. So he mentioned that it wasn't this specific issue, but it is this comic title. And he's kind of right. He's kind of right. He'll mention, okay, let's take this out of the plastic so you can see it a bit better. So this is Crime Does Not Pay, okay? So you'll notice crime is quite big, huge thing, right? And then does not pay is quite small. So, and then even smaller type is like the people that are involved with the comic. But the point is, it shows like crime being emphasized, right? And for Wertham, it was really teaching kids and inspiring kids to a life of crime. And if you look, even the cover, this is a Charles Biro cover. And you look at the criminals, like this girl, you know, kind of a sexy girl. She's running off. She's shooting behind her. She's kind of glamorized in Wertham's mind. I'm saying how Wertham would interpret this. Of course, this guy's getting shot in the eye. Another thing Wertham really hated. And if you even look at the Ladies' Home Journal, it actually shows illustrations of like injury to eye, and Wertham really hated that. But it is just like, you know, this is something that Wertham really hated, injury to eye. And this one just, you know, like shows like the havoc that criminals create, like all these dead bodies. The police are unable to stop them. You know, just crime does not pay. But so this is an example of what Wertham would call something that is causing juvenile delinquency. I don't really believe so myself, but he's entitled to his opinion, I guess. But yeah, so that very interesting book. I was pretty excited to get this Ladies' Home Journal. So I actually ordered it over a month ago. And that just shows you how long it takes to get from the other side of the planet to here. It was interesting because I was actually trying to work out a deal with the guy for a while. And maybe about a year and a half ago, I tried to get this same book. And I tried to work out the deal because the shipping was brutal. It was like $40 just for the shipping alone. And I was like, well, you know, he was willing to negotiate on the price of the comic, but he wasn't, or the magazine, but he wasn't like, there was nothing he could do about the shipping. I was like, oh, but the shipping's almost as much as the magazine itself. And I was like, really, I was kind of humming and hawing about the price of the shipping. And so he delisted the item for 6 months. He didn't show it. And I was like, oh, did somebody buy it? And like, I should have just bit the bullet and bought it regardless of the shipping. And he just relisted it, and I bought it that day. Once he relisted it, I just immediately bought it. I didn't want to make the same mistake and miss out on this major piece of history. So I was pretty excited to get it. It is a very cool book. If you can find it, good for you. The one you want to look for is Ladies' Home Journal, November of 1953. Okay, and again, to look for it, you look for this cover. It has this very posh looking lady on the cover. So definitely a very cool book. And I love history, and this kind of thing really appeals to me because it's just such a key piece of history. So yeah, so I thought I would share that on a Canada Day. What this has to do with Canada, I have no idea. She's wearing red. That's all I can say. Typically for Canada, we wear red. I'm not even wearing red. You know, I'm such a bad Canadian. Okay, let me just catch up on some of the comments here. Are Canadians trying to move in on American holiday? So yeah, so Canada Day is July 1st. American Day, I guess, would be July 4th. I'm not sure why they picked July 1st, but that was the day, July 1st, 1867, was the day that Canada officially became a country. I'm not sure why they picked July 1st as a day, but maybe just to make it easy to remember. But yeah, that's the day that we have. And it's you know, reasonably cool country. I think it's a pretty good country. It has its moments, depending on who's in charge. But yeah, so that's the book that I unboxed. I hope you enjoyed my little reading of it. I'm going to show some other cool things that I have just lying around me right now, just to give you something to look at. So I just happen to have just a few little cool books next to me that I just haven't put away yet. I got to put these away. I had them out for a different reason, and I was just kind of looking at them. So I showed like a really cool ladies' home journal. Well, this is one that's making sort of fun of Life magazine. This is Mad, and this is Basil Warburton cover. And yeah, so Humor in the Juggler Vein. This is Mad number 11. So just a cool book. Just to answer your question, what was Canada called before Canada? It was actually called Canada, strangely enough, very early on. You know, when we became the, like, through Confederation, it's called, we became the Dominion of Canada. But before that, it was actually called Canada. Like they used to call it kind of in two parts. We would have Upper Canada, which is Ontario, and then we'd have Lower Canada, which was like the Maritimes and that kind of part of Canada. So we'd have like these two parts of Canada. And then Confederation sort of brought all those provinces together under Canada. So yeah, that's a little bit of history there. Epoch, you didn't miss much. I just showed a quick unboxing. I just unboxed this ladies' home journal, and I was reading a little bit from it. It has a story from Frederick Wertham that was related to the seduction of the innocent, called "What Parents Don't Know About Comic Books." So just kind of a cool book. I read a little bit from it. I showed some of the illustrations. So if you missed it, you can watch it in the rewind. But I also have some more cool books to show. That I just, as I said, I haven't had a chance to put these away. I might have shown these in a fairly recent unboxing. The next one was Fighting Yank. And this is one I always liked. I thought it was a great cover. This is Miss Mask on the cover. And the funny thing about Miss Mask, she didn't appear on many covers. I think I'm thinking it's around like less than 10 covers. I'm trying to get them all from the Golden Age. I think I'm missing only a few. Maybe it was like 10 to 15. It wasn't that many. So yeah, just a kind of a cool cover. I thought this one was cool. I thought it was interesting how the dinosaur is behind the guy in the, Fighting Yank in the background, and yet his face is actually almost in front of her. It's just like kind of wraps around the whole comic. Just a really awkward angle, actually, if you think about it. It's almost like he's trying to bite her from the front, even though he's behind her. It doesn't make much sense, but yeah, I always thought that was weird. But a really great Miss Mask cover. I just really like that one. Fighting Yank 22. When is the Wonder Woman video coming out? Eventually. So with the Wonder Woman thing, I have finished the collection of Wonder Woman. But a few of the issues that I have of Wonder Woman are coverless. I didn't get the covers. I have the comic, the inside, but not the cover. So I kind of want to finish it completely where I actually have the covers. I think I'm missing 4 covers. So I have the interiors, but not the covers. But I do have the rest. Strangely enough, as you asked that question about Wonder Woman, the box that literally is sitting right beside me is my Golden Age Wonder Woman box. It's like all my Golden Age Wonder Woman. I can show you some, if you guys want, I can show some Golden Age Wonder Woman. If you're really interested, you can tell me. Yes, it was definitely a big dinosaur. Could you show some Canadian books or Superior Comics Bell publications? The problem is, Stephen, is I'm not really sure where some of those are. Like I really don't have those super handy. Like they're not ones that I separate out as Canadian. Like I have them sort of mixed into several boxes. So, and I'm not really sure where they are. So some of the Bell features that I have would be like Buccaneers, and a few other Superior comics that I have. But I didn't really sort them out in any particular way. So it's not easy for me to just pull out my Canadian comics. So sorry about that. Did you ever manage to marry the Wonder Woman coverless issue with the cover you bought separately? Yes, I did. So there is one which is a married comic. I actually did that with 2 of my Wonder Woman. I married a couple of them just because like that was what, I could get the interior. Actually, I bought the interiors really cheaply. I won an auction on my comic shop, and it was like 4 like early Golden Age Wonder Woman, and they were all coverless. And then I kind of actively searched for the covers for those books, and I did manage to find 2 from that group, and married the covers. So yeah. I am a crummy Canadian. I said that. I'm not even wearing red, okay? You're supposed to wear red on Canada Day. It's supposed to be a thing. I didn't even do that. I don't even have my Canadian flag. I couldn't even find my Canadian flag. I used to have like 2, actually. I had a little Canadian flag that, like a hand flag. And I had like a big one that I got for my wedding. Believe it or not, I actually got a Canadian flag for my wedding. And I had it, and it's still, just to show you how bad of a Canadian I am, the Canadian flag that I got for my wedding, which was like, how many years ago? Like almost, how many years I've been married? I got married in 24 years ago. Okay, so this flag that I had from 24 years ago, I still have it in the plastic. It's never been taken out. It's mint condition. I might get it CGC graded, but it's just like, it's a book. It's a flag that I never bothered to use. Canadians are not like Americans in that respect. We're not as super patriotic as Americans are. We're not like waving our flags and all hyper about it. And I used to think that was a good thing. As a Canadian, you kind of think that's a good thing, thinking, oh, being patriotic is kind of dumb. But now, actually, I think because the U.S. has kind of fallen suit, like it's been less patriotic lately, I actually kind of miss the overly patriotic American. I actually like it. I actually think Americans should, be super patriotic and really get into their love of the country. I think that's an important aspect to any country, that they really need to love their country. And I kind of wish Canada was a bit more patriotic, thinking about it. So yeah, so so a little bit weird, like how your perspective changes as you get older. So yeah, so that's my changing beliefs about it. The only time, actually, this is a fun thing you can learn about Canadians. This is a true thing about Canadians. The only time that Canadians are super 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 patriotic is if they're having a conversation with an American. And if the conversation goes on about anything about Canada or United States, then Canadians become super patriotic. It is a weird thing. It's a funny thing. We become like, oh, Canada is better than the United States. It is so funny. And I find myself, I fit into that group as well, where I become super patriotic when dealing with an American. It's just a weird thing about Canadians. We have this sort of maybe chip on our shoulder when it comes to the relationship between Canada and U.S. It's very interesting. So if you ever have a conversation with a Canadian, you can sort of egg them on by sort of saying, oh, so Canada, do you guys have cars up there? Or like do something like that. It drives Canadians nuts. It's a fun game you can play with Canadians. So yeah, that's something cool to learn about Canada. Okay, I guess I'm one of those people that has to put things back into the plastic when I take them out. So I'm just putting back the Ladies Home Journal so it doesn't get ruined. So don't mind me. I'm just very particular about that. I actually want to add a board to it as well. Okay, so that one's now safe. The box right next to me has a whole bunch of Wonder Woman. If you guys want to see some Wonder Woman, tell me now and I'll grab some Wonder Woman and show some Golden Age Wonder Woman. If not, you can ask me to show other things, whatever you like. I can kind of grab whatever. If you have any questions. This is just me hanging out. Like, I don't expect much. Whatever you guys want. I wish I could show some Canadian stuff. That would kind of make sense for Canada Day. But yeah, I only have the books that I showed in my Friday video next to me. That's all I have in terms of Canadian content. Yeah, I hope people take part in that Canadian one and show some Todd McFarlane or something like that. What else do I have near me? Nothing really super exciting there. Yeah. Okay, so, well, nobody's asking for it, but I'll show some random books. I'll show some random books that just happen to be beside me. And actually, these are cool books. These are cool random books, but, they are random books. I actually really like this cover. This is a really, really cool cover. Oh, okay, good. So you can show some Canadian stuff. Do you collect treasury editions? No, I do not. I have like one or two, like nothing major. The reason I never collected treasury editions, just so you know, is I don't like the awkwardness of the treasury editions. It's just like, where do you store it? It's just like, they're so big and it's just really hard to store them. That's why I have a treasury edition of Star Wars, like the original, the big oversized one. And it is so battered because it was never stored properly that in a weird way, that kind of discouraged me from collecting more treasury editions. But I do appreciate them. I think they're cool. I just always found that they were hard to store. How about some Dell or Gold Key of your choice? Okay, well, I'm just trying to think of where that would be, that box there. Maybe I can show some. Maybe I can show some of those. I'll show what is in my lap first, and then we'll grab some of those. So this one is just a cover I really like. I love the trope of women being like bondage on a train track. I just like that trope, that the typical like guy with the twirly mustache, and he ties the girl to the train track, and then you got the hero that has to come in and save her before the train comes, right? That's the typical trope. So I like this cover a lot. This was a cover I was really excited to get. This is Shadow Comics number 3, volume number 7, which would make it like number 28, I believe, or 27. I'm not sure. Volume 7. I think there were 6 issues per year, so that's way off. I think it would be number 45. Wow, my math skills. Okay, so yeah, I thought that was cool. And then we got some Foremost comics. Yeah, Joe would love that one. So this is a great judo cover. I'm actually a third-degree black belt in judo. And the move that she is doing, this move right here, is called ippon seinagi, and it just means one arm shoulder throw. If you ever learn judo, judo is such a logical sport in terms of the names. So ippon just means one, and seo nagi is just shoulder. So it's a shoulder throw. So ippon seinagi, that's the throw that she's doing. Just a really cool, and it's one actually a throw that I really like. So I like these comics where they show judo moves. That's Foremost Comics, and this is a cool one. This is Golden Lad #1. So you got early Golden Lad. Okay, and early Harvey, like Hot Stuff and Casper. Actually, I got a couple Harveys right next to me that you might like. I'll show them. Oh, there's just like all the packaging. Let me just grab them. So these are two that are just like right next to me, so I can easily show them. And I will show some Dell and 4-color stuff too. Gold key. So this is a Harvey. This is one that was on my hot list last week for, there was a 9.2 of this that sold for, I think it was 9.2 or 9.6, that sold for $108,000. This one would be far cheaper than that. This is Richie Rich #1. Just a kind of a cool cover. I really like Richie Rich. So that's Richie Rich. That's from Harvey, 1960. And another cool Harvey one. Or this is actually St. John. You said Casper, but this is actually not Harvey Casper. This is St. John Casper. So before Harvey, Casper was in St. John. I actually have Casper from Harvey as well, #1 from that. But this is just the first appearance of Casper the Ghost. This is a 2.0 copy. These Casper the Ghosts go for pretty big money, actually. So I was quite happy to get this one in my collection. They actually had a sale on my comic shop, and I grabbed it. I grabbed it when it was on sale. So yeah, so those are those two. Robot covers. Ever get into Magnus the Robot Hunter? Yes, I actually have a copy of Magnus the Robot Hunter. I believe it's in the box back there, but it's under a whole bunch of stuff. So it's right there, my Magnus first appearance, which is in Dell 4-color or something. I forgot what issue number it is off the top of my head. I think Casper #10 is the first appearance of Spooky. Always wanted that. That's actually something I'll look for. Now that you mention it, I didn't know where Spooky had made his first appearance. But yeah, I like getting those character first appearances. I'm very keen on first appearances. Like if you look at my collection, it's very first appearance orientated. So that's very cool. Casper #10. I'll have to look for that one too. If I see 2 copies, I'll maybe tell you about it. So yeah, so Spookies, yeah, that's cool. I was really into Casper the Ghost when I was a kid. I think Casper kind of appeals to those kids that are a little bit loner types, that, oh, I wish I had a friend, that kind of type. I think Casper's really appeals to them. I was kind of a bit like that when I was really young. I was like, didn't really have many friends. I would always have 1 or 2 friends kind of thing. Do you have the Wendy the Witch first appearance? No, I think she made her first appearance in Hot Stuff or one of those ones. I forgot what she made her first appearance in. I was actually looking for it at one point, Wendy the Witch. I forgot what comic you'd have to look it up, but I was looking for that book at one point where she made her first appearance. It's on my want list. I just forgot what issue it is that she made her first appearance in. But yeah, that's another character that I like. I like getting like I'd like to get the first Hot Stuff. That's a comic I don't have. The first Wendy appearance would be cool too. Also, Wendy getting her first comic would be cool. Um, I like those kind of cartoony comics and early appearances. Oh, so Casper 20. Okay, see, I was thinking Hot Stuff for some reason. Casper 20 is for Wendy. Um, hmm, I'll have to look for that. That's probably hard to get. And hi, Metal Bum. Casper 20. So now I have to get Casper 17 and 20. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, some more books on my want list now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more from this random box that I was looking into that just happens to have my Wonder Woman. This is an interesting one. This is a John Carter of Mars. You mentioned Gold Key, so this is some Gold Key for you. This is actually the first John Carter of Mars series. It's not his first appearance. He actually made his first appearance in Dell 4-color. I forgot what issue number, but yeah. But this is his first series title, and it just reprints actually even the cover from that Dell 4-color. And then we got Creatures on the Loose, number 10. And this is the first appearance, full appearance of King Ko. So, kind of a cool Marvel character. It's kind of a cool tentacly cover as well. And I showed some more another shadow, but this is just another. I just thought this was a cool floating head cover. Nothing particularly special about this comic, but I just thought it was just a cool cover. And 52 pages of Crime Does Not Pay Mysteries. So that's interesting. And then we got, this one is a controversial cover. And it is Slick Chick, number 2. And it's the one where, people get all bent out of shape because of it. It's like, but I like the Good Girl art cover. I think it's kind of a funny cover. I think Stephen, you were the one that showed me this book, so I thought it was an interesting one. And here's another. This one is actually kind of a major key. It's in low grade. It's in really rough shape. This is House of Secrets number 1. So kind of a major comic. It's in really rough shape. The person that sold it to me graded it at a 1.8, so it's just in really rough shape. But I always liked this cover. I like the Sphinx. I like the fact that they're ripping the head off the Sphinx. Okay, and then we got another really rough book, but it's kind of a major key. I just could never find a better copy. I was always trying to find a better copy. And this is another Dell. This is Dell. Dell presents Gerald Bing Mech Boing, and the nearsighted Mr. Magoo. And this is actually the first appearance of Mr. Magoo in comics. My copy is really beat up. I was actually debating about buying this book for like months before I actually bought it, just because I was waiting for a better copy to come up, but none ever presented themselves to me. So I bought this copy. It was like $20. It was not super expensive, but I would have liked a better copy. It's just a really hard one to find in any grade. But this is McBoing, and it's the first appearance of Mr. Magoo. I'm not sure if you experienced this. If you lived in the 80s, like if you remember the 80s, whenever you would go to the movies, 70s and 80s, actually, 70s and 80s, this was kind of the big thing. Whenever you would go to a movie, they would play like a little cartoon before the movie. They would always play a cartoon before the movies would start. And for some reason, Mr. Magoo was always that movie. They would always play like a little short cartoon before the movies would start. And often it was Mr. Magoo. It was always the same story where he's kind of nearsighted, he's kind of deaf, he's like and it was just sort of these zany adventures of Mr. Magoo. So yeah. Susan is watching and adding her female antics, analytics, adding to your female analytics. Great. My female analytics is probably just Susan. Women don't watch my show for the most part, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's something about the way I look. I just scare women away. I found that in life as well. So yeah, yeah. I don't know why I don't get women watching my show. Women should love comics. I don't know what's wrong with them. Metal Bum says, "I wish those comics. I miss those cartoons before the movie. I really enjoyed them. I actually. So it was either Mr. Magoo or another one that they always played was Pepe Le Pew. I always would see Pepe Le Pew before movies, and it would always be the same one too. It's like there was only like one or two episodes of Pepe Le Pew that they would make before movies or something. But I would always see the same one and be like, oh, I've seen this before. And it's always the one where it's like, Pepe Le Pew's like in love with some cat that is gotten like dipped in paint and it looks like a skunk. And it's always like, yeah. And then at the end, it's like the other way around where the cat chases after Pepe Le Pew. So, it's one of those things. I miss those too. I really do enjoy the whole cinema experience when I was a kid. That thing where you're sitting in the crowd and you're sitting like in the in the thing. You got your big thing of popcorn. The lights go off, and there's that pre-show. And nowadays, what we have is not really the same kind of pre-show. It's more like commercials. It's just like annoying commercials. But back in the day, it was that pre-show was like cartoons, and I really liked that. I was really into cartoons. I thought it was fun. So yeah, I miss that old cinema experience. Heritage Auctions has a copy of Mysterious Adventures number 13. Awesome flaming skull cover. Very cool. It'll probably go for far too much though. Probably. Once you say flaming skull, probably is going to go for a lot of money. I found that pre-code horror and kind of those pre-code horror kind of covers, especially skull covers, go for big money. Though actually, when I was watching Heritage last week, I was surprised there was a few books that really went undervalued. And Mark, actually, my friend who I do the price variance show with on Mondays, we were talking after we filmed Monday's show. So Monday's show is going to be great, by the way. We were talking about how he had brought some stuff to Heritage Auctions. And he was saying that it was really a hit or miss for him. He was getting some good sales and then some terrible sales, just terrible. One book that was a $600 book, it sold for $36. It's just like, he was like, oh man, what is going on? And it was a major key. It was a book that I would have paid more than that. Mark, had he told me, I would have bid like $100, $200 for it easily. But it sold for $36. He was like a little bit, super disappointed by that. And then he saw the same book that he just sold on Heritage go up on eBay for $500. It kind of bothered him. So sometimes with Heritage, you get that hit or miss thing where some big books sometimes sell for cheap. So don't pass on bidding on that Mysterious Adventures. You never know. You might pick it up for cheap. So yeah, definitely look for that. Yeah, so what was I going to say? So yeah, those are some of the books that were next to me. There's a few other really big books next to these. Actually, I didn't show them, but I probably should have. But I think they're in the future unboxing, and I don't want to show them too early and then ruin the surprise. But they are massive, massive books, like really crazy. But I will show something else. So I was saying that the reason I sort of pulled those books off that I just showed was underneath them are my Golden Age Wonder Woman. So I kept on promising, oh, I'm going to show my Golden Age Wonder Woman. I got the full run. I was bragging about having the full run. But I never really showed it. I said I would do it. I said I would show my full run of Wonder Woman. But what I'll do is show a little bit of my Wonder Woman run, if that appeals to you guys. I hope you guys like that stuff. So I'm going to grab whatever is in my hand here. Oh, okay. Of course, this is not Wonder Woman. I just grab whatever the first book's in the thing. But I'll show. There's some Wonder Woman here. And I'll show you kind of why I didn't do the video for Wonder Woman as well. But I'll show you some cool stuff. So this first one is not Wonder Woman. It was just in the front of the Wonder Woman. This is All American Comics number 90. And this is actually a cool book because it has Mud and Jeff. I was joking. That's not the reason it's a cool book. It's a cool book because it has this character right here. And this is Mr. the Icicle. Okay? And he's a cool Golden Age character. He was in the Stargirl series. Basically, he has the ability to turn people to ice. He's really cool. Really cool character. Okay, so that was on in front of the Wonder Woman. Now I'm going to show you some Wonder Woman, Golden Age Wonder Woman. I've been trying to get Wonder Woman Golden Age comics, but I keep getting outbid. Yeah, probably by me. I'm not bidding on them anymore, so the opportunity is open now. But the first Golden Age Wonder Woman that I'm going to show is Wonder Woman number 11. So this is H.G. Peter cover, and that's, you got Wonder Woman. That's sort of the classic Golden Age style of Wonder Woman. I always associate that style with Wonder Woman, the Golden Age. And then we got, this one has like a tag on it, but that's not on the comic. It's just on the thing. Here, take it out so you can see it without the taggy thing. This is Wonder Woman number 13. And for those people that are not familiar, Wonder Woman actually had a sidekick. And a lot of people don't know this about Wonder Woman because the sidekick was really in the Golden Age. The sidekick sort of disappeared later on. And this is the sidekick right here. And that's Etta Candy. Etta Candy made her first appearance in Sensation Comics number 2. And she was like a scientist and kind of super smart girl. She actually, in Wonder Woman number 7, she actually comes up with a way to stop aging. And they all everyone can live forever because of her. But yeah, so this is Wonder Woman number 13. So, and then that's another H.G. Peter cover. One sec here. I gotta get back into the little sleeve. One sec here. So weird about that. Okay. And the next one is, what number is this? Number 15. So this is Wonder Woman number 15. So, okay. So a lot of my early Wonder Womans are already graded. So this is just my raw box. So some of the issues will be missing just because they're graded copies, which are way over there. So my graded Wonder Woman are in a different group, in a different box. Okay, this is Wonder Woman 19. And it's just a cool cover. I like this elephant. I think it's really cool. And we got these little, probably this wouldn't be considered politically correct today, but I don't care. I think it's cool. So yeah. I'm not even sure what's going on with this guy. He's got this weird helmet on his head. I think it's interesting. So yeah, so this is Wonder Woman number 19. And I like this one. This is Wonder Woman number 22. And you got Wonder Woman riding a rocket ship. And she's doing like the lasso thing where she's like gonna grab these two guys. So I think that's kind of fun. Any Gotham City Siren Good Girl art? No, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, to tell you the truth. Gotham City Sirens. Not familiar with it, sorry. I'll have to look that up afterwards just because it sounds interesting. This was actually the first Golden Age Wonder Woman that I ever picked up. I picked it up for 60 bucks. Actually, I negotiated down. I think I paid like $40. This is Wonder Woman number 24. So yeah, I thought it was a great one because it's Wonder Woman in bondage. The funny thing is, if you look at the Golden Age Wonder Woman, there's very few times where Wonder Woman is in bondage on the cover. But later on, she's in bondage much more often. And the weird thing is, with Wonder Woman, you kind of associate Wonder Woman with bondage. And it's just weird that there wasn't that many Golden Age bondage covers for Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman is in bondage. There's lots of bondage covers, but not Wonder Woman in bondage, if that makes sense. And this is one of the few bondage covers for her. And then we got Wonder Woman 27. And she's doing, again, more lassoing. I think this is kind of funny. And that's Etta Candy driving this car. Okay, wait. It's a series featuring Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Poison Ivy. It was Harley's series between Volume 1 and the New 52. I might have it then. I just wasn't familiar with the name. I might actually have it because I do collect Harley Quinn, and I actually bought a bunch of bundles of Harley Quinn comics, if that makes any sense. And I'm not sure what issue this is. I forget what number this is because it doesn't have a cover. So as I said, a few of the issues that I have are coverless. So this is one of the first coverless ones I have. I'm not sure which issue this is. I would guess that it's in the 20s. Or it might be a different issue, but I'm not sure. Okay, so this is one of the coverless ones that I have. So there's a few where I need the covers, and this is one of them. I think there's about 4 issues where I don't have the covers. Let me grab some more. I'm going to just show some random more ones. Okay. So you're getting your Wonder Woman video. Oh, okay, see? This is what I was talking about. So some of these are duplicates, actually. Because I do have, okay, so here's some more coverless ones. This is another coverless Wonder Woman. Not super exciting, but it does show the jet, which is interesting. But as I said, I have a few coverless Wonder Woman, so I don't really complete the collection because of that. So for example, this one I actually have a graded version. This is Wonder Woman number 12. I actually have this complete as well. So this is my coverless copy, and I did replace a few of them because I was like, I don't want to have just a coverless copy. I wanted to, and number 12 is actually a really great cover. I really like number 12, so I picked this one up as a complete comic as well. But these were just, at first I got them just as like run fillers, like just to have the issues. But then I tried to pick up the covers. So this is another coverless one. And I have no idea what the issue is, so I don't know. If you can recognize it, I'd be impressed. And then we got another one. I think I have this as a complete book as well. This is Wonder Woman number 10. So kind of cool. And it's cool to see the interiors. You don't usually see the interiors. So, even though it's a coverless copy, it's kind of cool that it is one that you can see the interior. This is from 1944. And then we got number 29. That's kind of fun. And we got, this is actually a Canadian price variant. This is number 30. This is the Canadian edition. I don't have the American edition of number 30, but this is the Canadian. It has the same cover, but this is the Canadian version. And then we got number 32. It's a bit of a sci-fi cover. And then we have which number is this? Number 34. is a cool one. Robots and, you know, it's just like lots of cool things going on in this one. It's actually a reasonably high grade. They graded it as a fine. Got that from Motor City Comics. Just reading. I'm just reading where I bought this from. Okay. So that was number 34. And then we have number 36. This one was always interesting. Let's see, just a kind of a cool one. And then we got number 38. Yeah, it's a cool Wonder Woman. And we got number 39. And it looks like, I'm not really sure what she's doing on this cover. I'm not sure where she's running. She's just sort of running in space. I don't know what she's doing. But she's running after the bad guys that are blowing up ships, and I don't know, like a meteor hitting looks like a meteor hitting the bridge. I don't know. Lots of cool things going on in this one. Hi, Obito. We were trying to promote you on the on the shout out video. And Kenneth, hi. So yeah, so those are some of the Wonder Woman. If you guys want to see more Wonder Woman, I can just keep on grabbing. It's like a full box of Wonder Woman. There's 300 books. You know, it's like a pretty, but these are just the Golden Age ones. One sec. I'll grab another handful. Okay, so another handful of Golden Age Wonder Woman. Oh, this is a bit of a remainder copy. I didn't realize. Okay, this is number 40. And you can see it's ripped. I didn't realize it was ripped at the bottom. So yeah, Wonder Woman number 40, kind of like a hurricane or something going on there. And then we got number 41. I'm not sure who did the art on these ones. It's not H.G. Peter, but definitely I like this art better, actually. And then we got number 42. When did she go? Okay, when did Wonder Woman go away from sandals? Go to sandals away from her boots? I don't know. So a lot of these Golden Age ones, she's wearing the sandals, and we can just see. We can just go through it and see. This is Wonder Woman number 43, a low grade copy, but still, at least it's complete. And this is really rough. This is number 44, I believe. It's really rough shape. And then we got Wonder Woman 45. This is her origin story retold, I believe. So number 45. So again, she's still wearing the sandals, so we'll see when she switches over to the boots. I think it was later. I think it was much later where she started wearing boots. This is 46. Nice clock cover. And then 47. I think maybe in the Golden Age she always wore the sandals. I don't remember ever wearing the boots in the Golden Age. This is number 48. This is number 51. And we got 54. And 55. Nice train cover. And then we got 56. This one's in really rough shape, actually. So this is graded as a 1.0. She started with boots. Did she start with boots? Where's my Wonder Woman 1? Oh. don't know where's my Wonder Woman 1. I'd have to look at my Wonder Woman 1. I don't remember if she started with boots. Did she start with boots? Actually, you might be right. Because here's Wonder Woman 18. And you're right, she has the boots first. You're right. She started with boots first, and then she switched over to sandals. Not sure when she switched. I gotta go back. 1 sec here. Gotta flip through these really quick. So in 18, she has the boots. Okay, so when did she switch to sandals? I'm going to find out. I never even noticed. To tell you the truth, I never noticed that she wore sandals versus boots. Actually, even here, she has yellow sandals. I didn't even notice that. Now I see her with yellow sandals. And in issue 38, she has the boots. Okay, so that would be the answer to your question. So she has the boots up till issue 38, and then she switches to the sandals. From what I can see. Yep, that would be the answer. So issue 38 is the last appearance of the boots. Okay, and then she switches to the sandals. And then the first appearance of the sandals, they're in yellow, and then later they turn to red. See? Wow, what you learn, what I just learned, I didn't even know that until now. So now I know that too. That's very interesting. I never noticed. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it makes sense, but it's really weird. And actually, this is, if you look at this interior, she's not even wearing boots or sandals. Okay. Okay, so those are all some of the Wonder Woman. I can show more on future. Where did I put this? See, that's what I'm saying. Where did I put my Wonder Woman #1? I have no idea where I put that. Where did I put it? Oh, I know where it is. It's over there. Okay, I actually have it in my cubby over there. Okay, I just had to think about it. This man can't even find his Wonder Woman #1 to answer your problem. Yeah. You know, my comic room gets pretty disorganized. 1 sec here. I'm just gonna put these away. 1 sec. This is why I have to put things away as I'm doing stuff, because if I don't, I will totally get disorganized. 1 sec here. That's gonna fall. I can tell that. Sorry. Okay. I put things away as soon as I take them out sometimes, just so that I won't get more disorganized than I am. But that's why I can never find things, because I'm always taking them out. I take them out and I never get a chance to put them away. So I try to put things away when I take things out. Right now I have Casper the Ghost on the floor, for example. So yeah. So my Wonder Woman 1. Do you guys want to see my Wonder Woman 1 again? I feel like, oh, thank you, TJ. Happy Canada Day. Thank you for all the smoke in Michigan. Okay, yes, you're welcome for all the smoke in Michigan. It's actually, the forest fires are near me too. I actually just am around here. So we're sending it all to you guys. That's our gift to you guys. Happy to sell your books for your kids' college. Yeah, I probably should. I feel you. My home office is also my comic room, so I'm running out of space, and the wife loves it. That's cool. Yes, I always want to see Wonder Woman 1. Oh, hey, Dave Ventures. Happy Canada Day to you as well. I know you're not Canadian, but happy Canada Day. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right. actually, I ran over and got my Wonder Woman #1. So this is my Wonder Woman #1. It's in a 7.5, kind of a nice copy. And indeed, she is wearing the boots. So yes. So we learned the origin of the shoes now. We know when she gets the shoes. It's in issue 30 something. Yeah, so this Wonder Woman #1. Okay. And when I was over there, I quickly grabbed a few others just because they're all together. Got Wonder Woman 26. Kind of fun H.G. Peter cover. And number 17. Another cool cover. And number 21. A fun one. Wonder Woman and the Adventure of the Atom Universe. Kind of interesting cover. Yeah, so lots of so I have like a whole bunch of Wonder Woman slabs over there. It's just like filled with Wonder Woman slabs. Yeah, so that's like a bit of a taste of my Wonder Woman collection, at least the first 50 some odd issues. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I did find my Wonder Woman 1. She is wearing boots. Can I adopt you? Sorry. I need somebody to adopt me so I can pay for all this stuff. But yeah, so those are some of my Wonder Woman. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, is there anything else people would like to see? This is, as I said, this is a random hangout. I didn't have anything really prepared, to tell you the truth. I just had a box in front of me, so I was showing that. But I can show other stuff if you're interested. You guys just tell me what you want to see and I'll grab it. I'll run around grabbing things. So yeah, you just tell me what you want to see, put it in the comments there, and I will do my best to try to find it if I have it. Okay. Just as we're doing this, I just gotta quickly put these Wonder Woman away because it bothers me mentally. Ugh. So I'm just quickly putting these away. Okay, there we go. Okay, so they're put away. I feel so much better that they're put away a little bit. Which is better, Good Girl or PCH? Show some good girl. Okay, so I prefer Good Girl, but I like the mixture of the two. So I'm going to show you an example of Good Girl plus horror. And I think it's fun when you get that kind of combination. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So here's an example of Good Girl PCH, which is pre-code horror, for those people that are not familiar with the term. So this is Strange Fantasy #2, which is actually really #1. So this is strange. You got this little girl in the red dress. I always like that. And you got the horror elements. You got the mad scientist, and he's about to experiment on her. And he's like a giant. She's like just this little girl in a coffin. So just like some pre-code horror elements plus pre-code horror. So pre-code horror plus Good Girl. So fun stuff here. So that one's always in front of me, actually, whenever I'm filming. That's one of the books that's in front of me. And another one that's a Good Girl, but more modern side of Good Girl. And I really like this one, is Betty and Veronica, number 320, I believe. Or, yeah, 320. This is the first appearance of this character right up here, which is Cheryl Blossom. Just a really cool first appearance, and just a kind of a bit of a sexy Good Girl art cover as well. Okay, do you own any OA? OA. OA. Why am I blanking? What's OA? I should know. Original art. I had to think about it. You got me. I was like kind of thinking. I had to think. Yes, I got it before you said it. So original art. Yes, I do. I have some Vampirella original art, and I have some. What else do I have? I have a bit of original art. Not a huge collection of original art, to tell you the truth, but I do have some original art that is quite unique. So I'm a big collector of Warren Publishing, and Warren did a pitch in Japan to do a cartoon series for Vampirella. They were going to do this cartoon series, animation series in Japan. And what they did is they created what was called a pitch portfolio that they used to go to Japan and say, hey, would you guys, be willing to do this animated series? And I have the original cells that were used for that pitch. Not all of them, they go for big money. I have like about 4 of them. So, and I have the very first of them that they did. And the reason you can tell it's the first one that they did is her skin tone is the wrong color or a different color than what you would expect. And also it's done flipped over. Like on anime cells, there's 2 sides. They did it on the wrong side. So you can tell it's the first one that they did. So yeah, so those are the original art. You can, if you want, if you wait for just 2 seconds, I can grab them. They're literally in the closet next, right there. Let me just move things around. I'm just gonna, just bear with me for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 sec here. I just gotta. Okay, so 1 sec here. I just gotta. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, I just gotta put a couple things away. Just bear with me. I'm going to grab some original art. So there's original art coming. I'm just going to put this back. 1 sec here. Boom. So this is how I store my original art. Can you imagine? So this big bag, my big bag garbage bag, is my original art bag. The most professional way to store original art is in the garbage bag. Oh, my organization skills. So awesome. Okay. But inside of here is some cool stuff. One sec here, I got it. Oh. It's a mixture of so many things, okay? Okay. Inside is my MRI. Like this proves that I should be dead, actually. Believe it or not, that really does prove that I should be dead. But that's beside the point. I should be dead right now, and that proves it. So that MRI is actually a really funny story. So I keep it with my original art for some reason. But I should be dead. I literally should be dead. But inside my original art bag, my garbage bag, I'm going to show you some original art. That's really great. This is really rare stuff. Well, it's one of a kind. But it's actually pretty major stuff. I get asked about this one piece of original art all the time, like literally all the time. Like people want this piece of art, and it's probably worth thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. It is this one. You're probably wondering, what is it? What's so big about it? But this is actually the first time that this character, which is the Rook, was ever drawn. And this is original hand painting by William Dubay, who was the creator of the Rook. And this is what they used as a mock-up. this painting was the mock-up for the Erie issue where the Rook made his first appearance. So this is the very first time that he was drawn. Kind of a cool piece of original art. And I get asked about that a lot. The DeBay family actually reached out to me on multiple occasions to try to get that from me. And I was mentioning, I was talking about how Warren went over to Japan and tried to get some of these animated series started for Vampirella. And here's one of the pitch cells. Okay, this is like an animated cell. Now, the animated cell is just the Vampirella part. This background was created by just as a, just to make it look pretty. It's a modern addition to it. But the animated cell is the Vampirella part. So Japan passed on it. Even though we think of Japan as having like crazy anime, they passed on it. They thought it was too sexy for Japanese television. So yeah, which is kind of funny considering. And here's another nice piece of original art. This is Jita. Just a really great cover. This is another animated cell. And as I was saying, they did this pitch meeting. And the very first one that they created for the pitch meeting was this piece right here. And they didn't like her skin tone. And so they said, can you show us something where her skin tone isn't so pale? So that's why the other ones, she's much more orangey. You'll notice this one, she's fairly light-skinned. So this is, and you'll notice my provenance, I guess, would be this. You can see, and I'll read it to you. It says, proudly produced by the Cartoon Factory. Now, the Cartoon Factory was William DeBay's own kind of like production house, I guess. And this was the first animated cell that they produced. Okay, I really, really like this one. This is a really great painting. And what else is in here? And this is another one. I really like this one. This was a huge piece. It has a bit of nudity, just a bit, very, very subtle nudity. If you look at it, you probably won't even notice it. But this is just a really great, it has Jita, it has a couple of the other characters from the Warren Publishing. And it's just a really great one. This, again, I bought directly from William DeBay. I'm not sure if you can read that. Yeah, I'll kind of zoom in on his card. It says 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, William DeBay, Art Director. So basically they were trying to, another thing that if you read the back of Warren Publishing, a lot of the time they'll like have these things where they're saying, oh, coming as a new movie. A new movie's coming. We're gonna have a movie that we're gonna release for Vampirella or for some of these characters that they developed, and they use this as a way to try to reach out to 20th Century Fox to do a movie on these characters. And again, the pitch didn't land, but these were used for those pitches. This is exceptionally rare stuff. Like this, like probably not many people have even seen these or even know that they exist. What happened was I bought these in the 90s, early 90s. William DeBay at the time, his son was just about to go to university. And he needed money for his university tuition. And he put these up on eBay, like a really early version of eBay. I picked them up, and I picked them up for really good prices, like insanely low prices. I mean, we're talking like a couple $100, that kind of level. And I actually became kind of, I would communicate with William DeBay fairly frequently and pick up all of his stuff. So I picked up a lot of original art from him directly. So that was fun. That was back in the day when, like early eBay days, what you would do is you'd mail a check, literally mail a check, and then you'd hope that the person at the other end of the thing would cash the check and then send the items, right? And you're always wondering, am I going to get my items or what's going to happen? And you never knew. There was no buyer protection. There was nothing like that. It was very, very, very high trust situation where you had to have high trust. But yeah, they were pretty cool. Those museum those museum quality pieces should be a nice UV glass frame on a wall, not in a plastic bag. I know, I totally agree, but that's how I've kept them, and so far they're doing okay. Actually, they're actually in really great shape, believe it or not. Considering the way that I'm storing them, they're all stacked together, and then the bag is around it. So in a way, they're actually well protected. But it is just, yeah, it's just really funny. So yeah, I remember the old postal money order. Yeah, it's just the craziest way to send payments back in the day. But I bought a lot of my Warren collection that way because there was one local dealer at the time that had a pretty big Warren collection, and I bought most of his collection. But there was a lot of issues that were missing from his thing. And so what I did is I would go on eBay, I would connect with people like all over the world and basically send out money orders in order to pick up to get the comics. And the funny thing is, after I would literally order hundreds, or thousands of books that way. Actually, it was in the thousands, and I think there was only a couple times where I didn't get the books, which says a lot about how good people are in general. Yeah, just interesting stuff. I don't know. What else is in here? Oh, okay. So way back when, I went to a Toronto Comic Con, and I met an artist that was doing original art, and gave me this. It's just like a page, but also, one sec here if I can get it out. He did a sketch for me. I forget which artist this is. I'm gonna look it up. This little Vampirella sketch. And one sec here. It's all together. And he gave me one from Harris Publications. I thought this was really cool. Really cool. And he gave me it for such a really low price. This is Pergy Vampy. I think it's Pergy. So just a really cool Vampirella spread. And these were actually published too. So really cool. I thought it was fun. So I got those. At the time, not many people were into Vampirella. So me being into Vampirella, the guy was like really, really nice to me and like gave me I think I paid $50 for the original spread. I thought that was great. And there's some more random stuff in here. So that's some of my original art. I have like a ton of stuff in here. It's all very disorganized, actually, that I'm looking at it and too awkward to get out at this time. But that's some of my original art. I've shown it actually before in other videos, but yeah, it was huge. It was just like this really cool thing. And I was like, oh wow, $50, sure. It seems like such a great deal. I just thought it was really, really great. People were really nice. Like that was back early 2000s, and it was like a time when Vampirella was not really as popular as it is now. So yeah, you could get some really great deals. And I was picking up Vampirella, like issues of Vampirella for a couple dollars each. And as I said, I have the complete collection actually of Warren Publishing. So it's a pretty big collection. It actually fills up the whole closet over there. And it's just really awkward to get to though. It's like, because it's like layers of comics and magazines. But yeah, my whole collection's over there. So that's a little bit of my collection. I realize this stream's been going for an hour and a half now. And I really appreciate everyone for hanging out with me on Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to everyone. And I hope you enjoy the. Um, okay, wait, before I sign off here. Are you seeing prices grow for Warren material? Yes, but not as much as I would expect. Um, so a few key issues are going for big money. Like Vampirella #1, it's going for big money now. I'm shocked how much money a graded #1 goes for. But for the most part, most of the Warren books are still cheap, really cheap actually. Kind of sad. Um, I only have 15 issues to go to complete the Warren Vampirella run in a series 9, 2, and up. Wow, that's better than my collection. So I have like the complete collection of Warren Vampirella, but they're in mid grades. Like I would say most are mid grade because it was based on what I could afford as a student. Because I was buying these when I was in university, and based on what was available. I didn't have like the resources that I have now, where I could either have the money first of all, or the access. Like getting comics now is so much easier than when I was in the '90s picking these books up. You had to really hunt, and I really did. Um, Need a bigger house. Actually, I have to say this is a smaller house than my previous house, and then my previous house. But this comic room is bigger. It's actually a really good sized comic room. Um, I was told Erie 2394 just sold for $5,999 today. I could believe it. So just so you know, Erie 23 is actually a key issue. Like most people don't realize this about Erie 23, but it was a low print issue and it's really hard to find. It's actually a pretty hard issue to find. So getting a high grade copy of it would be actually pretty difficult. If you look at the back pages of Warren, this is a trick that you can do. Like if you grab like an issue in the 70s of like Eerie or Creepy or Vampirella, what you can do is they'll show like all the back issues that you can buy. You could order the back issues. That was kind of a unique trait to Warren Publishing, where you could order the back issues. And what happened is that you would look and you could see certain issues were disappearing quicker than others. And even like some of the early issues, like 4, or like early issues like of Eerie, like really early ones, were available long before issue 23. Issue 23 disappeared very, very early. And so it's considered to be a rare issue. I don't know what the reason for that was, that it like why it had a lower print, but it just seems like it's a very hard issue to find. I was lucky, actually. I picked it up for $2. And mine's a fairly high grade copy too. Do you hope you got a good HVAC to archive your historic collection? It's not an HVAC system. It's a weird system in this house, but yeah. I bought Erie 23 in a 9.4 for $300 16 years ago. So I never had graded Warren copies. Like my whole collection of Warren is ungraded. It's all raw copies. The only graded comic that I have for Warren I bought recently, and I only bought it just because it was cool to have a graded copy of Warren, and that was After Hours #1. And I bought that in a 9.0. I thought, wow, it's a really high grade. It was on sale. I got it for 50% off or something crazy. And I picked it up. So yeah. So yes, issue 23 has a nice Fazetta cover. It has an awesome Fazetta cover, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Actually, Eerie 17 is the rare one. I'm thinking, and 23 is a Fazetta cover. I actually was just thinking about that. So I don't want to give misinformation. So Eerie 17 is the rare one. But 23 was also highly sought after, but it's not as rare as 17. But the reason probably it went for so much is the Fazetta cover. There's a bunch of Fazetta covers in those early Warren comics. Hi, Jerry. It's good to see you. Another person I really want to interview you, Jerry. We gotta set up a time to interview, and we gotta hang out more often. Okay, so yeah, so those are some of the stuff. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna probably end the stream soon. Again, thanks everyone for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. I always have to say that. I don't know why I say that. Like nobody ever does. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, tell other people to like, comment, and subscribe. My goal, and I really need people's help with this goal. This is one goal I really want to achieve, is I want to get to 3,000 subscribers in the next month or two. That's my goal. And if I get to that goal, I will do a special giveaway. If I hit 3,000, I'll do a special giveaway, something nice, like something golden age probably. So help me get to that goal. That's all I'm asking. And have a happy Canada Day. Have a happy America Day, or July 4th. Next time, talk about the X-ray. Oh, do you want to? I can quickly talk about the X-ray right now if you really want to see it. It is so insane. It freaked me out when I saw it. I'm going to show it. One second. You can't actually see anything. Do you want to see my proof of death? Like this, I'm dead, actually. I should be dead. I really actually should be dead. I'm not even sure if you can see anything. No, you can't see anything. It's just like, ooh, you need one of those like screens, the special screens. I'll tell you the quick story. I'll tell the quick version of the story. So way back when I was training, fairly hard actually. I'd go to judo 3 times a week, 2-3 hours a day each time. So like 10 hours a week I was spending on judo, and I would do other things to train as well. And I was teaching. I was instructing at a fairly big club. We had about 300 students, 400 students. It was a big club. I was like one of the head instructors. And I was training. I wanted to get really into shape. I really wanted to do well. So I was training a group of kids. The other instructor asked me to be the volunteer to demonstrate a throw. Okay. And it was a very dangerous throw. And so I explained to the guy who was going to be throwing me that he had to do it a certain particular way, or he could kill me, literally kill me. It's that dangerous of a throw. It's not a bad throw if you know how to do it. It's actually a throw I use all the time. But if you don't do it properly, you can kill the person that you're doing it on. He didn't listen to me. This was a stupid kid. He wasn't listening. He threw me. And when he threw me, normally you're supposed to throw your partner onto their back so that they can absorb the damage of the throw. And instead, he threw me on my neck. And I basically suffered, and I still to this day, actually, and this happened 7 years ago, concussion. I have a severe concussion. And even to this day, I feel pain, like every day for the rest of my life, basically. And severe pain. It's not like light pain. It's actually pretty brutal pain. So I was trying, the Canadian healthcare system is a messed up system. It took me 2 years to get an MRI, because I said, hey, there's something wrong with me. I really feel there's something wrong. I feel this crazy pain. I cannot think clearly. I have problems. Please help me. And the doctors would not approve an MRI. So eventually I found a doctor that would approve an MRI, and they did the MRI. And a few days after doing the MRI, I get this call saying, hey, you got to come down. You got to rush down to the hospital. Okay. And because there's some serious news that we have to tell you. Okay. This is 2 years later. So I rushed down to the hospital. The doctor is like, has like sort of a freaked out look on his face. Okay, this doctor looks freaked out. He shows me the MRI, and the MRI shows that my neck is broken. I have a broken neck. Okay, and it was in a spot like if the bone was slightly, like literally 1 millimeter over, I'd be dead. I'd be like not paralyzed, dead, just dead. So this bone is like literally right on my spinal cord. And if it was shifted over like 1 millimeter, I'm dead. Okay, that's how bad it was. And so when I saw this MRI, you can see the bone, it's like right up against my spinal cord. That's the pain. And it, he's like, you should have, like, what they should have done 2 years prior to that was they were supposed to they should have done neck surgery on me and have it so that they could correct the bone so it's not right up against my spinal cord. So that's it's a crazy story, but it is what it is. The Canadian healthcare system is terrible. Don't let them ever encourage Canadian healthcare in the US. It's the worst. Do not have our system. It's terrible. Yeah, I'd rather have the United States system than the Canadian healthcare system. It is really bad here. So yeah, it was. So this is the proof of that. This is my MRI that shows that I should be dead. I should be dead. If it was like a fraction, just a fraction, like a slight difference, I would be dead now. So that's my story. Yeah, it's just a really messed up story. But yeah, so I keep that as a souvenir in my original art collection. I don't know why, but that's what I do. So yeah, that's my story. I don't know. A good way to end it is like with my death, I guess. The death of Alan. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been trying to close this out, but I figured I'd tell that cool story. Okay, so bye for now. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.